Hello, beautiful generator or manifesting generator woman. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about how I went from having 0 close proximity clients to having 29 close proximity clients in a matter of months, and 7 things that I learned about what it means to be a generator in business as a result of this quick and dramatic shift in my business. If you're new to my channel, you may not know that I have been quite a free spirit in the last decade since I discovered human design. And human design led me into a new world of following my life force energy, following my strategy of wait to respond, and my authority of paying attention to my emotional wave and my emotional clarity. And so I've been very tuned in to myself and my rhythms, but I have wanted to, in the process, also expand and grow my reach because I felt like I had this big impact to share in the world. And so I did build my YouTube channel, and I was attracting consistent readings in the last couple years, but it wasn't leading into longer term, deeper transformation, coaching client relationships. And that was something that I really wanted. And so I was trying to find a way to create an offer to sell and to deliver a deeper transformation. And I wasn't succeeding at that. I wasn't finding the way to create something that people were buying. And it was a bit of a process, maybe a story for another video. Tell me if you would like to know more about how I did this, but I did end up creating an offering that sold really well. So in October, I launched this new offering. It's called Freedom to Launch, the confidence and clarity to launch your next level creation. It was designed specifically for generator and manifesting generator women who know that they have a big impact to make in the world, but just haven't found the way to clearly get that out of them and to build an audience around it. And through that program, I sold out the beta program. So in October, 9 women started with me in that 6-month course. And then I began immediately to sell spots for a January beginning. And I think I sold 12 or 13 spots to start in January. And since then, I've also sold more one-on-one and a few more clients coming in to launch their YouTube channels. So I'm going to go over those 7 core learnings that I've had in this steep learning curve, because it has been pretty intense for me in the last 6 months since we started in October. So as I share these, please do comment below and let me know what's resonating. I always love to read your comments, and I always respond to every single comment on my channel. So the first lesson, and I would say this is probably the biggest one, it's been a huge aha as a sacral being. I'm just going to call myself a generator because even though I'm a manifesting generator, the way I was taught human design is that the generator is a generator. So even if you're a manifesting generator, you're still just a subtype of the generator. So as a generator, the biggest question of your life is, what do you have the life force to sustain? When you're creating an offering, it's very important that the way you design it is going to be sustainable for you to deliver. And I really did have this in mind when I was architecting the program, thankfully, because 6 months is a long time to sustain something that you can't sustain, that you don't have real life force to sustain. And you can't really fake that. It was a pretty big transition from when I had 9 clients to in January when all of a sudden there were 12 more clients. And so that took me up to, I think, 22 clients. I also had some private clients at that point. So I more than doubled the amount of clients I had in January. And any place where I was draining my energy quickly became apparent how it was unsustainable. And one of the biggest things that I realized very quickly was that I just didn't have enough energy to talk to people more than 4 days a week. So I adjusted my schedule so that I provide feedback to clients Tuesday through Thursday. Those are the only days where I have readings that can come in as well. And then I do some meetings on Saturdays. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday are the only times I'm interacting with people. And then Monday and Friday are days where I completely do my own creative things and things in my business where I don't have any appointments or any interactions. I'm not needing to show up in any way for my clients. And also Sundays are completely off. So I realized that is absolutely essential for me to be able to sustain working with clients and get into a nice trot. So I think of being a generator as like being a horse that can trot along and you can just keep going and you're not depleting yourself, you're regenerating. And you want to find that rhythm that you can maintain that nice trot. And so I found my rhythm where I can maintain my trot and my balance with exercise and with social life and with fun and play. That's allowing me to keep going. And when I slipped out of that balance, it very quickly became apparent. The second thing I learned about being a generator was that speaking to your ideal client avatar is a lifesaver. So who is your ideal client avatar? This is who you are here to serve, that is best suited to value and make use of your unique gifts. And I very quickly started to see the clients that were most effortless for me to work with, where I felt like there was just such a valuable exchange and there was a real harmony. And one of the interesting things I've seen is I really love working with projectors one-on-one, but in the group, I prefer to work with generator and manifesting generator women. And so that's actually why I've now adjusted my whole YouTube channel to be speaking directly to generator and manifesting generator women, because that's who I just love to work with, and it's so effortless for me to work with them. So this work of taking the time to really zone in on your ideal client is so worth it. And that's really a big part of what we do in Freedom to Launch and what I help generator and manifesting generator women do, which they typically don't naturally tend to do, because oftentimes they think, oh, I actually can help anyone with these gifts that I have. And while that may be true, if you don't zero in and message in a very particular way, then you're going to spend way too much time and energy trying to get clients. And the more zoned in you are, the easier it's going to be to really speak to your ideal clients and to provide them with a high value transformation. And the whole thing becomes a lot more sustainable the more on point you are with identifying who your ideal client is. The third thing I learned about being a generator is just how obvious it becomes when you overstep your boundaries and where things start to become draining. So it was so obvious when I was getting frustrated or where I was feeling drained, which are very key indicators as a generator that your life force is not being used well. And oftentimes that happens when there's some kind of boundary that's not being upheld and honored. And so through the process of working with my clients, I started to see more clearly what my boundaries were. And then it became my responsibility to step into leadership and to communicate about that effectively. And so that reframe of noticing these sort of challenging boundaries, maybe feeling drained or frustrated, and then shifting into leadership mode to communicate effectively was an important thing. So anytime I started to notice, oh, I'm feeling drained or frustrated, I started to wonder about what my boundaries were and started to make adjustments and tweak things so that they could be more sustainable. For example, In the program, it includes one-on-one support through a specific platform called Trello, a Facebook group, and then the group calls. And some clients would DM me directly and send me emails and telling me about their insights and asking me questions. And for me, that felt like a boundary violation because those were not communication avenues that were included in the program. And because of that, they could come in on any day when, when I'm not focused on people, and I didn't like that. It didn't feel good. And so I realized, oh, I haven't communicated this clearly, so I needed to change how I communicated that. I've since added that and really clarified it in the terms and conditions, so it's much more obvious. And that was just a simple tweak that I could make that eliminated my own resistance to serving people. The fourth thing that I learned has been terms and conditions. Terms and conditions are your friend. I absolutely love sending people the terms and conditions before they sign on now. It's become such a relief because I know that I have set things up in advance to create clear agreements, and I think it's eliminated a lot of potential difficulties that could come later. And so my terms and conditions are really clearly laid out. And I think that's a very important thing because as a generator, one of the most important things is setting boundaries around the use of your energy. And because your life force is the most important resource that you have, and generators tend to struggle with boundaries. Having clear terms and conditions is about having clearly set expectations between you and your clients and clear agreements, and that preempts a lot of issues. Lesson 5, which is kind of similar to the terms and conditions, is I reinstated doing one-on-one discovery calls or sales calls, calls where I could meet with someone who's maybe thinking of doing Freedom to Launch and just have a conversation about it. And I used to do that like over a decade ago, and it used to drain me. Now I love it. I love the opportunity to really check in with a person, find out what they're looking for, what they most want, what their challenges are, and then see if there's actually a real fit for them to work with me and get a vibe check and see. There's a lot revealed in those conversations, and seeing how motivated someone is. I've really realized through this process that working with me is like throwing gas on a fire. Like it's going to whoosh, it's going to accelerate you. It's going to launch you. It's going to be bombastic. It's going to expand things. And if you're not ready for that kind of expansion, then it's not really a good fit. The people that have experienced friction in the process have been people who've been more resistant to forward movement. And so now the one-on-one sales calls that I'm doing are so much more about filtering and making sure that someone's a really good fit before inviting them into the group, because we're going to spend 6 months together. It's very close. And so I just want to make sure that everybody that I'm saying yes to is someone that I genuinely feel that I can really help and that's going to get a lot of value out of the process. The sixth thing that I learned was I learned money management, and I've been taking a really cool course with my mentor. Her name's Lou Clark. She's teaching me how to do my own books. Her program's called Rule Your Money, and I love her. You can look her up, Lou Clark, on Instagram. But even before I started taking Lou's course, I was really focused on creating a spreadsheet that was mapping out every single income that was coming in, every single expense. So I'm watching my money coming in and my money going out like a hawk. I'm so aware of this in a way I have never been aware. And I think that this was something intuitively that I was shown for years prior to starting to track my money that I should be doing. And I think as a generator, this is very important because being aware of the flow of your life force and managing your resources is a big part of being a thriving generator. So now I'm very aware and I'm so happy that I am aware. It feels so good. Okay, the last one, I've got to be quick here, is focusing on quality and not quantity. I have really focused on customer satisfaction and getting results with these clients, and I've been checking in with them, finding out what they want and need, and focusing on delivering that to them. And it has been so satisfying. The feeling of satisfaction of just like really giving them the goods has been priceless, really. It's been such a satisfying and rich mutual exchange. So, my dear, my friends are coming home. They're going to come in the door any minute. So, I'm going to leave, but please let me know in the comments what you're taking away from this video. And I would love to hear if you have any questions. Maybe I can do another video. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Mwah! Bye. Go use your energy well, okay?